Hi, Ayon.
Hi, Arpita.
How are you?
I'm good, good.
Ayon, who's the host? One of my colleagues, Himanshu, is waiting to join.
Host is Mamadou. Mamadou will be handling all the back-end issues.
Okay.
So, yeah. Mahmoud, could you please add? Hi, Kaisar bhai.
Hello.
Mamadou, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. I think there is someone from Appsflyer team waiting in the waiting room.
Actually, he's in the attendees list. I'm not sure how to move him, but yeah.
Yeah, Arpita. So the link I share with you that
Yeah.
anyone can join using that link. It's pretty easy. There's an open link.
He's actually joined the same link, but he went to attendees for some reason. You can see his name, Himanshu Gupta, under attendees.
So we are waiting for Orit as well, right?
Yeah.
Actually, or not Orit, Gal will join. Gal will actually replace Deborah.
Okay, audit is under attendees.
What's the full name, Mamadou? What's her full name and designation? Could you please share with me?
Yeah, he's Gal Raj. He's the VP of Global Business.
Hi, team.
Hi, Shri.
Okay, so Arpita, I think the format is going to be that we will, Himanshu and I will respond to any queries that comes up in between your presentations, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I think Gal joined just. Oh no.
Mamadou, could you check your Skype?
Okay, Himanshu won't be able to respond, Shri.
Okay, cool. Okay, no worries. I'll take care of it.
Designation, please.
So we'll start exactly from 3 p.m. right? Still 5 minutes left. Oh, Kaisar bhai joined.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm joined here.
Hi guys.
Hi, Gal.
Can you tell me the order of the speakers? Because I've just replaced Deborah today. She gave birth, so congratulations to her.
Yes, yes. Oh. Hello, Gal.
Hi. Hi, Ayon.
Ayon, you will be starting, right?
I'll be starting, yes.
Okay, so Gal, Ayon would be introducing us, and we'll be starting with the Appsflyer presentation first, followed by yours. So I'll pass it on to you. And
Okay.
then we have the panel discussion.
All right.
Yeah. Then after Gal, there will be Kaisar Bhai slot.
Yes.
So he'll be actually doing some insight sharing for Nagad user journey so far, app installation journey and app journey actually. I think we can start. Shall we?
We can wait 2 more minutes if you want.
Okay.
I think we're only 5 minutes over.
So let's wait another 2 more minutes, then we can start.
Sure.
Okay, let's start now. So everything is recording, right? Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. I hope everyone is doing fine and healthy during this challenging time. I'm Ayon Rahman, CRO at AdPlay Technology. We are welcoming you to our webinar on future of app marketing, OEM and attribution platform. We believe this is a timely discussion as we are getting lots of queries from our advertisement partners regarding app installation campaigns and how to measure the quality of installs, attributes to be recorded of the campaign, etc. So in today's webinar, we are delighted to have Mr. Kaymun Amin, Managing Director at AdPlay Technology, Gal Razvia, VP Global Business Development, Appnext, Arpita Porwal, she's Sales Manager, Appsflyer, and we have from our advertisement partner side, Kaymun Kaisar Bhuiyan, Senior Manager, Media and Analytics, Nagad. I'll be moderating the session. Before we moving on to webinar session, let me give you a small highlight of our session. We'll start the webinar with a welcome note from Mr. Kaymun Amin. After that, Arpita will do a presentation on attribution platform, drive your app's growth with data. Then we'll have Gal's presentation on OEM, future of app marketing. Finally, Kaisar Bhai will share some insights on Nagad app journey so far. Before we start, just a little housekeeping. If you have any question, this is towards the audience. If you have any question during the presentation, please type into the question box in your Zoom control panel. Our respective panelists will answer them after the presentation. We'll also have time for the questions during the panel discussion. So at this moment, without further ado, I'm requesting our Managing Director, Mr. Kaymun Amin, to start the welcome note, and then he will hand over to Arpita. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Ayon. Good afternoon, welcome. Very happy that you could join us today. Warm welcome to all our attendees and especially our panelists. A very exciting webinar today, at least for me. I mean, AdTech is an exciting space to follow at the moment. As per the report, ExchangeWire report, just the Q1 AdTech investment crossed $23 billion in 2021. 54% of their investment went to identity and measurement attribution tech companies, things which I don't really properly understand. But the good thing is we are seeing exciting growth in Bangladesh as well in terms of the number of companies who are doing more and more digital campaigns, as well as in terms of ad spend. So I think this is a very timely discussion because we're seeing a shift among brands and marketers. I mean, as more and more brands are considering performance campaigns. And at the same time, we're seeing a lot of traditional brands going digital and setting up their own digital properties like their own mobile apps and the e-commerce platforms, etc. For example, the banks and the FMCG companies. This is partly driven by COVID, but at the same time, there is also a lot of discussion about brands setting up their own first-party data capabilities. So other than that, of course, we are also seeing a big push for new players in the digital ecosystem, from e-commerce companies, ride-sharing apps, food delivery apps, super apps, you name it. So it's very exciting to see so many app-led businesses come into the market. And at the same time, it presents opportunities as challenges as well, right? For the marketers. I mean, everybody is wondering, so, I mean, how do we go about targeting the right audience? How do I get the right user to install my app? And then how do I measure performance? Is it only by installs, or, you know, how do I measure post-install activity, et cetera, et cetera? Now, I'm not the subject matter, but you know, we have panelists who definitely can give you all that insight. AdPlay has always positioned itself as a performance-driven platform, whether we are building our own solution or we're partnering with market leaders, other solution providers. Our primary objective is always how to drive performance for brands. And same thing. I mean, we want to do the same thing for the app marketers as well. So today we have Appsflyer, who has a market-leading attribution and measurement platform, and then we also have Appnext, who is enabling brand and app marketers to do app install directly to the mobile devices by working closely with the handset manufacturers and operators, right? So as I said, I'm very excited for the rest of the session, and without talking much further, I would like to invite Arpita to start her presentation.
Thank you so much, Kaymun. I will quickly share my screen. Mehmet, I think you have to give me access. Mehmet?
Hi, Arpita. The access has already been shared.
The host has disabled participant screen sharing. So. Yeah, got it. Okay, can everyone see my screen now?
Yes, it's visible.
Perfect.
Yes.
All right, so thank you everyone for joining the session today. Let me quickly begin our presentation. So what Appsflyer would like to cover today is we've got 3 pointers in our agenda. So for the next 10 minutes, we'll understand what is attribution and why is it so important. We'll also quickly introduce Appsflyer and show you how exactly we can help you. Okay, as an app owner, you need to know who is responsible for a paid install, correct? Especially when you're running more than one campaign. So let's understand what exactly is attribution in this case. So attribution is the act of determining which ad caused a user to install an app or to perform, let's say, a post-install act like a sign up or a purchase. So the attribution result is either one of these. It's either non-organic, as in if the user has interacted by the way of, let's say, click or impression with a media source such as Google, Facebook, or Appnext. Or the install is organic, which means the user did not interact with a media source and directly install the app. I'm sure you must have heard about this quote from John Wanamaker. Half the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The problem is I don't know which half. As a mobile marketer, I think you could resonate with this statement. Now, this is where attribution comes in. So let's talk about why attribution is so important. When attribution is done by a reliable and an unbiased provider, the data can pinpoint the value of specific channels, media sources, publishers, campaigns, and even creatives, allowing you to optimize your app's performance. Now, with a goldmine of data that attribution provides you, marketers can easily boost their campaign performance and ROI and understand exactly where you should or should not be spending your budget, which can lead to a much more effective user acquisition for you. Now, another challenge that marketers are facing right now, which I'm sure most of you on this call right now face as well, is every time you want to work with a new network, you have to reach out to your developers to implement the SDK for each of the ad networks that you're working with. Now, this essentially makes your app a lot heavier, which can negatively affect the app's performance and make it a lot more difficult for you to manage. Now, apart from this, one of the bigger problems is that all of these ad networks that you're working with can't even see the engagement on the other ad networks, which means that different ad networks can claim for the same install, leading to the same user, leading to duplicated data and probably double or triple charges for you as a marketer. This brings us to reason number 2. When you use an unbiased attribution provider, all you need to do is just put one universal SDK in your app. And whenever you want to work with, let's say, a new partner, you can simply configure it in the Appsflyer dashboard. This way, you don't have to wait for your developers to implement a new SDK, and your tech team doesn't have to implement multiple SDKs in the app, which takes a huge load off their shoulders and makes your app a lot lighter. Now, since Appsflyer is measuring every single engagement and is completely unbiased, we're in the right position to attribute the install to the right partner. So let's say an example, if AppLovin in Mobi and Share It say that, hey, we should be getting credit for this particular install. What Appsflyer does is we look at the most recent engagement and attribute the install accordingly. Now, this prevents you from being double charged or triple charged, and it also gets rid of duplicated data. This is the concept of attribution, where an unbiased referee.
Arpita, I'm just going to interrupt here
Sure,
from an advertiser's point of view.
Yeah.
From our side, what we always recommend to run performance campaign or app installation configuration campaign through multiple channels, right?
Right.
And have the media mix so that like we can compare what kind of, although we know like OEM is the best performing channel, but we always recommend to use other channels, right? So that we can optimize the campaigns. So whether it is possible through a single tag to define which install is coming from which channel, right?
Yes, absolutely. So
And
what we've seen,
the total user journey as well, not only the install, also the other attributions like the subscription and other things as well, right?
Absolutely. So what we've seen is users, our advertisers in most of the regions work with a very healthy mix of partners and channels. Now, the question that you just asked, that yes, OEM is also a huge part of it. Like in India, we've seen 30 to 35% of the advertisers, their market share of installs comes from OEM. Now, as you mentioned that they can define in-app events as well. So you are able to measure the user journey after they have installed the app. Like probably how many times did they transact with you? How many times did they engage with one particular action within your app itself? So it's possible with Appsflyer.
Fantastic. Yeah, carry on, please. Thank you.
Okay, so now let's say what happens when, as a marketer, you're not working with an attribution provider. You might make some incorrect decisions. You can probably get duplicated data and in general get charged more than once for the same install, as a result of which you might actually be misallocating your budgets. But let's see what happens when you do have an attribution partner and you get attribution right. You get an opportunity to make better decisions and can make optimal use of your budget. So let me actually introduce you to us. I have been talking about attribution, so who are we? So quickly introducing you to Appsflyer. Before I get there, I just like to talk about the mobile space in general. So it's quite massive and it's got so much potential. In fact, all of us over here, we spend so much time on our phones. They're always on, they're always within our reach, even probably when we're sleeping, right? So let me quickly share some stats for Bangladesh from 2020. 99% of the population in Bangladesh actually have access to mobile phone connections. Out of which 41% are internet users, which is about 66 million users, and 26% are active social media users, which is another 36 million people. So there is huge potential, but the problem is measuring mobile is very tough. Apps don't have cookies like websites, with top media platforms using their own measurement standards, there's often a conflict with one another to get accurate picture of what's going on. Yeah. So this is where Appsflyer, the authority in this space, comes in. Just like all of you, we obsess over data, its cleanliness, integrity, and actionability. This is why we are fully unbiased and remain trusted by the market to decide and boost performance, and we do it at an incredible scale. As you can see, some of the stats here, we've measured over 19 billion worth of ad spend. We've got zero financial interest in any of the ad network, and we've partnered with over 8,000 ad networks and affiliates globally. Now, there's a reason why Appsflyer has been chosen as the authority in the market. Our scale powers everything we do, improving attribution, deep linking, and anti-fraud solutions, and expand our customer feedback loop, leading from the front on new innovations. So what can you as a marketer do with Appsflyer? So we see a lot of marketers facing this specific problem, where they're not able to show value of their marketing efforts to their managers in team meetings or even their CMO, and are quite often faced with thousands of questions. Let me probably show you a few of these. So you've got some of these questions wherein how many users were installed via referrals, what is our ROI on mobile spend, which media source is getting us most number of traction, how many users have uninstalled coming from XYZ campaign, and so on, right? So Appsflyer can actually help you answer all of these questions and a lot more. But in the interest of time, what I'll do is pick probably 2 or 3 of these questions and help you answer and understand how Appsflyer can help you in this case. So this is the first question. How do I work with multiple partners and how do I scale up? Now, with over 8,000 partners on board, you can seamlessly integrate with any ad network partner or agency through our dashboard. Avoid paying your ad networks twice for the same user and understand the actual ROI from your campaigns. In fact, not just with ad networks, we have integrations with agencies, analytic platforms, other technology partners. All you have to do is measure their performance in Appsflyer, as it takes like just a couple of minutes. Now, when you decide to scale, we'll be happy to introduce you to a wide range of partners to help you nail your growth phase. The next question is, how do I measure the quality of users coming from different sources, right? Now, as an attribution partner, we measure everything. Every KPI you can dream of, from impressions to uninstalls to CPM to ROI. Appsflyer will be a single source of truth. In a single dashboard, you'll be able to see and compare performance of all media sources you're working with. This will help you decide where you should and should not be spending your budget and can lead to a much better user acquisition for you. Another question could be, how do I offer personalized experience to my users? So the answer to this question is Appsflyer's one-link technology. Now let's take a look at the scenario in real life. Let's say a user clicks on this Trivago ad, which is promoting hotels in New York. If the app was already installed for the user will directly be sent to the in-app New York hotels page via deep linking. But let's say the user hadn't installed the app previously. Now, in this case, the user is first sent to the App Store, which is deferred deep linking. And once the app is installed, the user will be sent to the in-app content, which is the New York hotels page after he's installed the app. Now you can use any of these, you can use this for any of your own channels, could be SMS, email, digital influencer, referrals, and so on, so that at any given point, you know exactly where your installs are coming from. While this also provides a great user experience. Like as you see, the experience is quite smooth and there's absolutely no breakage in the entire experience here.
So, Arpita, I have another question. So, I'm just going to ask. So, say for example, we are also tracking the after installation, we are tracking the user journey, right? So, if we want to personalize the advertisement campaigns, what we are planning in the future, and we want to execute those data, right? So, say for example, someone just installed and explored all the features and options, and someone has subscribed, and someone subscribed but not using that much, or maybe using one feature, not trying out the other feature. So can we actually segment the audiences according to their user journey and execute campaigns through that sort of data?
So Ayon, if I got your question right, I will answer that in two parts. One is when you're doing the SDK implementation with Appsflyer, what happens is you can define the in-app events. Now, Appsflyer will only measure the in-app events that you define. For example, registration, maybe watching a tutorial, maybe completing a full transaction. So what you see in the raw data with Appsflyer is this particular user, which is a device ID, performed, let's say, 10 number of in-app events. Now, these in-app events is something that you can see, but you will not be able to know at exactly what point the user dropped off. However, we do have a lot of dashboards to help you with in terms of retention and retargeting, where you can understand what percentage of users drop off after, let's say, 3 days of opening the app or 5 days of opening the app. So that's when you can actually go back and retarget these users. So while our core feature is to attribute installs and give you more data around that, in-app events is something that kind of is like the cherry on top to help you make more sense of your data. So yeah. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Cheers.
Okay, so coming to the last bit of the Appsflyer presentation. Now, to sum it all, Appsflyer will help you optimize your marketing campaigns and answer the burning question, which is how do users coming from different sources engage with my app, which Ayon is similar to what you just asked. But this is actually just the tip of the iceberg. We can help you solve so many measurement challenges. We'll in fact be happy to take you through a detailed demo post this webinar. Probably you can connect with us on a more of a one-on-one session. Post the session, we will I can share my email ID with all of the participants, and we can take it from there. So thank you for attending, and Gal, over to you.
Thanks, Arpita. Thanks a lot.
So thank you very much, Arpita. I'll share my screen and tell you a little bit more about Appnext. So guys, if I can have an access to share my screen.
Yes, just give us a minute.
All right.
Hi, Gal. I think you have got the access.
All right, let me try it now. Okay, can you see it?
Yes, we can see it.
We can see it, yeah.
So good. I'll take, let's say, the next 10-15 minutes to tell you all about Appnext and how we can help you as one of the leading ad networks in the region. So just from the basic, for those who do not know us, Appnext has been in the neighborhood or in the app ecosystem for the past 10 years. And since the very first day, we dealt only with one thing, which is to help people discover more apps and services while they are using their mobile device. So we're today consider ourselves to the largest app discovery platform. And the most important thing is that we are not just an ad network, but we are powered by a very unique technology that supports all this nice ecosystem that we've built. Quickly, just so you'd have some numbers in your head, Appnext today is recommending almost 7 billion apps to our users worldwide, and we do it by interacting with them on what we call their daily mobile journey. The average interaction we have with a user is around 20 times a day, and I'll show you what we refer as when we say daily mobile journey. I guess each one of you has his own journey. My journey starts early in the morning as soon as I wake up and grab my phone, opening the news app, my favorite news app, to see what's going on. And another person could start his journey checking the stocks or his favorite email provider, etc. But we all have a certain journey that goes from the second we wake up until the moment we go to sleep. And Appnext is trying to be part of this journey and recommend user with relevant apps and services we think they might need. To share with you some interesting numbers, by the way, that's our worldwide presence. We are very dominant on the eastern part of the globe. We have a big office in India. We have an office in Singapore and in Indonesia and in China and the other offices that you see. All of them are sales offices owned by us and operated by local team members of Appnext that are working very hard to onboard new partners to use our technology. The number of daily users that we see on average, you can see, if we're talking on Bangladesh specifically, you'd see it here, we are meeting between 8 to 10 million unique users or unique mobile devices every day. And with each user, we have around 20 interactions. So the potential we have to recommend apps in Bangladesh is around 70 to 100 million recommendations per day. Makes sense to you, the number? I guess it did.
It does. But if we want to consider the reach, so say for example, we have 10 million Android device users. What's the percentage of Appnext reach in terms of the volume of Android devices?
So we cover the majority of Android users in the region, and everything you see here, by the way, is only Android users. You can see, as I said, that we are super dominant in the eastern part of the world. In India, we see almost 250 million different users on a daily basis. Indonesia, but then Russia, Brazil, and others. So for those who are developing an app or they're looking to acquire more users, not only in Bangladesh, you are more than welcome also to try us out, because we are heavily present.
If we consider Bangladesh, then can we say over 70%?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Okay. That's
but I
good.
want, I'd like to emphasize another very important point from our perspective. We are very, very cautious, and you could read one of Appsflyer latest reports mentioning specifically the fraud rates that are zero in Appnext. We are very careful about it because we are working solely and only with direct partners. If you can see,
that was actually my second question. So yeah.
So direct partnership is, direct partnership is a leading thing, or it's crucial for us. Either if we're talking about an app developer, you see it from on the right side of the slide. Those are some examples of well-known app developers that are using our technology and our platform, either to acquire users or to retain your own users, or for their publishing or monetization activity. But each one of those, and talking about huge developers, and I'll mention Truecaller that has over 500 million installs, they are sitting on the dashboard of Appnext and using our technology to monetize their traffic. Same goes to Spotify, Amazon, Zynga, and others. You see that we are working with all the verticals, including music, shopping, and hotels, that I really hope that will come soon back, and all the others. The left side of the slide shows our direct partnership with OEMs, which is the main topic of our presentation today. OEMs, for those who don't know, these are the manufacturers of the devices themselves. Those guys actually took the technology that we've provided them and integrated it into or onto the devices that they are rolling out to the market, enabling them a way, as I see it, to improve the experience of the mobile user. Because if I'm using a mobile device and I'm getting very relevant recommendation, I see it as a very positive user experience. If I'll compare it to an annoying interstitial or a banner that is popping out out of context. But again, those guys really are using our technology on the devices themselves. And how does it look? I really hope it's okay to brag a little bit. That's the latest achievements, because Appsflyer are sharing the same flow with us here. So I'm very proud to show the latest achievement that were recognized by Appsflyer in their recent report. We were mentioned as #1 ad network in India in terms of growth, globally #2 in terms of growth, etc., etc. So we are well known and appreciated in Appsflyer. Some testimonials, if you want, I'll talk about a little bit more. But what I want to show here, that again, we're working with a diversity of verticals. You'd see Badoo, which is a dating app from Europe, Shopee, that you all know as one of the largest e-commerce app, and also Joom, which is an e-commerce app. All of those are using our unique technology and capability to serve and to recommend those specific apps to users when they need it throughout their journey. Now, what is the journey? Okay, where do we interact with the user? So the journey starts here. Now, everything you see here are products that are fully owned by us. They were developed by Appnext. Each product is a standalone product. If it's the widget or the Ubi, I'll elaborate a little bit in a second, but each product is a standalone product that is supported by our technology. And let's start with Ubi. For those who do not know, Ubi, O-O-B-E, it stands for out of box experience. It means the first time I'm purchasing a new device and outboxing it, throughout the setup process of the device, you know, when you choose if Google will be your default search engine, etc., we have the opportunity to recommend user based on his location and other parameters, relevant apps that he could immediately install on a one click. Okay, so that's the first activation where we first meet the user, but then we move on to the ongoing experience.
So the experience you just mentioned, is it the pre-installed applications you're talking about?
Yeah, correct. Those are pre-installed, but they are supported by our technology. It means that the apps are not burned in the factory. If I'll take Xiaomi, we are not burning the app in China and then wait 6 months until it's gonna be rolled out, and you know, the device will eventually find itself on the market wherever it's shipped to, because in the period of those 6 months, there might be already updates of the app, etc. So we are, as the user, outboxing the new device at a specific location. If it's Brazil or Poland or Bangladesh, we will only then recommend relevant and of course, based on the inventory and the apps that we have that are using our system, we will be able to recommend specific apps.
So that's
Again,
also give the advertiser a competitive advantage, right, from its competitors, for sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I have to be honest. Not all of the products are available currently in Bangladesh, and currently the Ubi is not available in Bangladesh, but it soon will be with a new OEM that is now integrating our product. Let's move on to the ongoing experience. This is only the first time interaction. It happens one time, but then the user, when he's buying a new phone, he will eventually use it at least for 2 years, and he might interact with us on a widget, okay? The widget will contain a row of recommended apps. So if you are an app developer here in the audience, your app could really appear here. And based on our algorithm, if you are, for example, a financial app, we'll know when or to which user we will show this icon when it's relevant for him to use such app. Another product that we have is live in many places is our keyboard. The keyboard is contextual, and of course it supports multi-languages. In this case, you see an integration of our keyboard that it will become the default keyboard of the user. So whenever he's using, for example, the Google search engine and he's writing something related to food, we will suggest him with relevant apps based on the apps that we have at this specific location. So if you are here in the audience, have a food related app, you know, food delivery or restaurant, etc., your app could appear here whenever somebody is typing something relevant to food in Bangladesh. And so on and so forth with a lot of products that we have. We meet the user. So you see 7 a.m. the user is seeing the widget. At 8:30 he's texting something. He then meets us. And you know, he's using the -1 screen just to check something. He might you know, see the recommendations that we have here. We are also in folders. That's the Truecaller. I don't know if some of you guys are using this great app, but whenever a user is
just for your kind information, Gal, we are reseller of Truecaller in Bangladesh.
No problem. So that's amazing. So whenever there is an end of call, we show a recommendation to the user. That's huge, and so on and so forth. Just to add my presentation with the existing integration we have, I've mentioned some of the big names in the industry. So Samsung, you know, are using our technology for several placements, including the Ubi in specific places in the world, the game launcher, the store that we are the one that are powering together with a local partner in India, the Galaxy Store together with Indus. These are the only 4 out of 25 different places that we are situated on Xiaomi devices, including our keyboard that is now the default keyboard for any Xiaomi user in India. They called it Mint, but it is our keyboard. Vivo and others, I'll show you some of the you know, SDK integration. I guess you know some of them. These are huge players that are using our technology to help their user. Gamma, for example, I guess some of the panelists know the app. It's a big music app in India. So this row here at the bottom is recommending user with relevant apps when he's using the app. For the advertisers here or the potential partners of ours, after you will integrate Appsflyer solution, hopefully, everything is transparent. It means that all the activity that the user is doing with our technology is done on our self-serve platform. It means that you have full visibility, including as a Appsflyer rep just mentioned, the post-install events, super important for you, not only to acquire new users, but to measure the other events that are important for you, the first day retention, 7th day purchase or registration, etc. Our platform is integrated with the Appsflyer platform, so you could keep on tracking everything under one platform. So I tried to do it super quick. I hope you understood what we are offering.
So before we finish the presentation, Gal, I have few other questions from my side. So I had one question regarding how the platform can be fraud-free, right? So you already covered that point. So I just want to know some more details regarding the apps discovery, right? So we are saying that like we are depending on the users. We are actually delivering the campaigns or executing the campaigns and giving them the apps discovery according to their users' preference or behavior, right?
Yeah.
So executing that sort of audience behavior based campaigns, how it is leading towards a quality install. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is like how that there is, if there is any impact regarding acquiring the high value segments, right, of a user base. So these are the two questions I have from my side.
So let me combine the answer for those two questions. Our algorithm is smart enough to pull the data points from a lot of sources that we have. We are, of course, following all the GDPRs. We are fully compliant with everything that goes with privacy protection, but we are using the data to analyze and really to build a timeline of a specific device to know, for example, if a specific user used a music service provider at a specific time of the day, that's a perfect day for us to recommend him to use maybe a competitor app or even the same app if this app developer is interested in, we call it re-engagement. Okay, it's not enough today that the user is only installing an app, but we'd like him also to use it.
Right.
We see it a lot with all the food delivery, you know, in India, Food Panda, Swiggy, all the others. Have an install is great, but you know, at the end of the day, they are measuring the number of orders. And if I'll show somebody food order, you know, at 3 a.m., unless he's back from a full moon party in Goa, it's not very relevant. So we need to use our technology to be very accurate. In terms of targeting capabilities in our platform, we enable, for example, to choose a lot of segments. So if you are looking for high-end users, you know, you have the probability, you have the option to choose specific mobile phone models, okay, that we assume that only specific portion of the population will use those devices. That's one. So there are a lot of room for targeting.
Right. So there is another thing I would like to add here. So the OEM platforms usually claim that like they provide better install. I mean the volume and quality of installs comparing to Facebook and other social media channels, right?
Yeah, that's really easy to understand. You know, at the end of the day, Facebook is great, and I always tell our partners that's fine, keep on using Facebook. But at the end of the day, you are going to be exposed to Facebook ad only when you are using the app itself, which is, let's say, 10% of the day. What about the rest of the time of your day when you are holding a device and you use it? Okay, you go to -1 to check your stocks. You go to a game folder, you know, to pick up your favorite game because you are now on a tube in London and you want to play for 10 minutes. So if I'll have, and we do have, and that's the beauty to partner with an OEM, if we have specific placement on the device, we call it on-device placement, where we have you know, a wide coverage with high intention. Okay, if we have a game developer here in the audience and I have a placement on a device that we call a game folder, Okay, I'm sure that this app developer would like to be discovered, would like to promote his app when the user is going to a game folder, because the user has an intention to play a game now. That's the best way, not in Facebook and not in Google, to be in the game folder. The user is going there to play a game. Why won't we recommend him with your game at this stage? Same goes to a financial provider, for example. There is a finance folder on the device that collects all the financial services that I'm using. Okay, Bloomberg and all my stock providers, etc. Why won't you, as a fintech app developer, promote your app when the user is going to this specific folder? So, of course, and in terms of coverage, you know, if we have the opportunity to offer, just imagine in Bangladesh, or for me, it's easier always to talk about India, which is our biggest market. You know, in India, we have almost 500 million people that are actually holding at this second a Xiaomi device. You know, Facebook can only dream to interact with so many people at any given second. And on each device, I have more than 20 places that the user might interact with me. So the coverage is totally different. Same goes to the fraud, which is zero. I'm sure that Arpita can, you know, elaborate a little bit about the fraud that they see on OEMs. I guess it's zero or close to zero. So the advantages are huge here.
Right. Just to clarify the audience, since it's the SDK is, I mean, aggregated or embedded on the publisher or advertisers or the, I mean, it's in device, right? In device, whatever the publisher's already been installed in that folder, there is SDK integration, so that there is no provision for bot or any other things to view the advertisement. It's been serving to the real human, and we know the audiences very well. That's how it is fraud free. I think I'm correct on this. So Kaisar bhai, so
so I have one question for Gal. So can I?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So it's a question about the feature, the keyboard experience that we already have seen. So my question is, as an advertiser, do I have to provide you the application and the keyword list of keywords, or your AI or your algorithm will define that by their own?
Yeah, the only thing that you'd have to do as an advertiser is just sign up for free to our platform, you know, publish your app over there, and everything is up to you. And if you'll choose to run a campaign, let's say in Bangladesh, and you'll choose to use all of our media sources, our SDK channel, our OEM channel, will be then know to serve your app at the specific second in a relevant spot. There is no need to add, the algorithm learns, and the AI capabilities of the keyboard knows how to recommend the user with your app at the most reasonable time.
Thank you so much.
So Gal, you have anything else to add?
I feel that I took too much of the others, so no, from my end, thank you very much for letting me speak here.
Thanks for your presentation and your knowledge sharing. Kaisar bhai, over to you.
Yeah, I'll not take too much time, so I'll share my experience over here. My name is Kaisar Bhuiyan. I'm actually working in Nagad as a senior manager for media and analytics department. I have joined 3 months ago in this company, and I have worked with the app marketing, which is the app tech, and you can call it Martech actually. I'm working for the application marketing here. So basically, if I want to talk about Nagad is the fastest growing digital financial service in Bangladesh. As you may know, in April 2021, we have already crossed the limit of 40 million users in Bangladesh, and daily transaction limit is 400 crore. So in March 2021, the daily transaction was 300 crore. So in 1 month, we have increased 100 crore, and that's how we are actually moving. So Nagad is a very dynamic company in nature. So we are adopting all kinds of future possibilities and the future marketing technologies in Nagad so that we can define our ROIs, calculate it, and show it to our management. And also we can provide some good service to our users also. So in my topic, I would like to tell you about two things. First of all, in app marketing, primary two things are app installs. First of all, I'm acquiring the users, and the second thing is all app engagement, which is for retaining the users. So in both case, we have to have strategies and planning for that. So for app installs, I mean acquisition or acquiring the users, we have to have advertisements, but we work with different channels, network A, network B, network C, but we don't know. When we do it blindly, we do not know that which channel is actually giving me more benefit, or the cost per installs are low, or don't have any kind of frauds for fraud installs. So in this way, in the future of app marketing, we would like to use the platforms that are available in the world, and it's very popular here. So we have already heard from Arpita for Appsflyer. We've already heard from Gal for the Appnext, and those are the tools. Those can help us actually to have the acquisitions from the users. Even though it's not about promoting the app into the mass, it's all about algorithms. It's all about pinpoint targeting. It's all about sub-segmenting the audience, and whoever actually like your application, or whoever like you actually like your service, only they can see that and they can experience the app that they can. So this is the part of app installs that I can tell you in short. The next thing is the crucial thing in our term, which is the app retention. So in app retention, we must have used the analytics platform, because if you want to define the ROI, if you have to calculate the ROI, and if you want to have visibility, which platform or which channel is giving you more and more benefit, you should have the analytics platform with you, because in this way you can advertise your application in different platforms, and then you can see in a dashboard that network A or network B or network C, which one is giving you more benefit in terms of cost per install. It can be cost per install, it can be quality installs, and it can be the relevant installs that your app can have. So in this way, you can also save money, as because you can reshuffling the budgets that you have already. If network B is actually working well, you can put more and more budget on that. And if network C is actually not performing well as our scale, then you can actually find the improvements. What are the improvements that you can make on that? So on those two parts, app installs and app retentions, we should have used, and we must have used those future technologies that we have used. So I would like to thank again Arpita and Gal to share us your presentations, and I hope we will in Bangladesh we will use your services, and if there is any other services that are more suitable for us, and we will do that. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, Kaisar bhai. So anyone else, Arpita, Gal, anything else to add here from your side?
I think, Ayon, I'll just address one question that I see in the audience regarding Firebase. So we do have a lot of advertisers who spend very heavily, let's say, on just Google, and they use Firebase. But then when it comes to Appsflyer, they wonder why is it that they would need an attribution platform. Now, of course, what the trend that we've seen is when you initially start off with your app business, you probably end up marketing on Google, Facebook to begin with. But depending on the nature of your business, you will eventually start leveraging your own media. You will start tying up with more ad networks and affiliates. Now, this is where Appsflyer comes in and helps you understand the data in one single place. Like you will get different metrics from different platforms that you're working with, but to kind of make sense of everything on one single platform and work directly with new partners in the future, I think that's where Appsflyer plays a very big role in terms of helping you scale as well, whether it comes to user acquisition or retargeting your users. I hope that answers your question.
Brilliant.
I guess we must also answer the other two questions because they're directed to both Appsflyer and Appnext. So, Ayon, do you think that we should finish the questions and then move to the panel?
Sure, Sri.
Sure. So, Arpita, you just want to pick up the first one, which is we use Google Ads mostly for app installation campaign. How Appsflyer and Appnext is different than Google? What is that extra that I will get? I think might be Arpita can go first and then Gal can go next.
Sorry, I was on mute. Okay, so just to answer the question about difference in using Google and Appsflyer, as I mentioned, you are working with Google to get new users, to probably retarget your existing users. Appsflyer is an analytics tool which helps and supports you through your user acquisition journey. Now, what we've seen is like most advertisers have a very healthy mix of marketing tools. And this includes like probably the likes of Appnext, Appsflyer, and so many others. So it's not that you'll have one single platform that will kind of suffice and help you with all kinds of solutions. So this is where probably Google and Appsflyer are different. Appsflyer helps you with analytics and attribution, and Google helps you reach to more consumers. Gal, over to you.
You know, at the end of the day, I think I answered it throughout our presentation. The fact that we are covered throughout the mobile journey of a user on the device just says it all. You know, I never tell anyone stop your activity with this or stop with that, but just add another channel, try what works best for you, and I truly suggest that you'll keep on using Google, but add similar offers as I just presented.
Right. So I have a few other questions. I'll try to address one by one. Number one is, what is the relationship between AdPlay with Appsflyer and Appnext? As far as I know, AdPlay is also giving mobile advertising solutions. So I'll just give you a brief about AdPlay. AdPlay is primarily a DSP, but we also work with other native channels and performance networks and ad networks as well. So in the same manner, we are partnered with Appnext, and we also recommend use our advertising partners to use Appsflyers or some other attribution tools so that we can optimize our campaigns and give you a better insight about the campaigns you are executing through us or our partners. I believe that answers your question. The next one is, would you like to add anything, Gal?
Well, no, I think you covered it.
So the next question is from Mashfika Zarin Chaudhary. What is the best tip to make sure mobile app marketing campaigns are successful? So I think that question goes to Gal.
You know, in order to make to make your a campaign works well, you have to choose, first of all, a reliable partner that is offering a direct partnership or the ability to control his supply, where your ad is going to appear and in which format. The diversity of the format is also important. The capability of an ad network to show diversity of ad units like banners and icons and videos, super important. Transparency is super important. I think that it's obvious that an app developer should know at any given second what works for him, and you should have the ability that we provide to set your own bids per campaign, per region, and do not just allocate a budget and meet your partner at the end of the month to see what's going on and what was the result of giving somebody money. Just keep the control to yourself. And we are offering a self-serve platform, and I guess somebody that is offering the user a way to decide by himself the bid and to exclude specific placement or specific segment where you don't want your app to appear is super important. So you need to ask for flexibility, transparency, and diversification from your partner. I'm happy that Appnext is a platform that provides all of those. But that's what will make your campaign successful. And of course, the ability to optimize. Everything is super dynamic. Even in our platform, today this one works for you, tomorrow that one works for you better. And the ability to to control and to optimize by yourself or by an account manager is super important to make your campaign work. You are on mute.
Thanks, Deb. Arpita, would you like to add anything to that?
No, I mean, I second what Gal said. Sorry, I was just typing in an answer, so I missed some of bits of his answer.
Multitasking, eh? Okay.
Yeah.
Arpita, you're on mute. Would you like to? I thought you'd like to add something here.
No, sorry, Ayon, I said I missed some bits of what Gal was saying because I was answering a question, so nothing to add right now.
Okay. So the next question is, how does Appnext recommendation work in markets they are not currently present in? I think that's from Shabab Sabir. I think he's referring to ad discovery, right? I think so. Question.
I think it's about organic recommendation program. I think Sabir is talking about.
Okay.
Sorry, the recommendation program. I don't follow you.
So the question, I'm going to repeat the question. It's from Sabir. Where is that? How does Appnext recommendation work in the markets they are not currently present in?
Okay. First of all, we are working with local partners that are representing us. Again, we always require to use direct links, and we're not accepting any sort of what we used to call in the past affiliation activity. We always want the partner to have full accessibility to the platform and the ability to see and to have the transparency available. If this is what you are referring to, and also, our platform is self-serve. At any given day, we have tons of people that are registered and sign up for the platform, just uploading their app and start running their campaigns. We have support teams worldwide that are following new registrations and are able to help. In the places that we have local partners, like in Bangladesh, the local partner can help support, and that's the way we operate. That's true that in big markets where we see a potential, we usually open a local office at the end of the day, and it proves itself as the right decision.
Right. So, yeah, I have two other questions. That's anonymous question to Appnext. How to ensure quality of installs and high acquisition along with lesser fraud traffic.
Again, I couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So that's the anonymous question. So that's to Appnext, how to ensure quality of install and high acquisition along with lesser fraud traffic. I think we covered that things already, but we can refresh.
Maybe Arpita can support. There are fraud tools like the Protect 360 that is, highly recommended by us. And
thank you, Gal.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure to sell your platform as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So just to add to what Gal said, in fact, the Protect 360 is a premium feature at Appsflyer, which helps marketers and protect you from fraud installs in the market, especially if you look at numbers for the APAC region. Fraud is quite high. And what's even more important is like our technology, our fraud suite is very advanced, because every now and then you have fraudsters coming up with different ways of trying to hijack an install or claim an install and try and make money. So we have to keep up with that. In fact, we have to stay ahead of the game. So our tool is quite advanced in this, wherein we're not only blocking these installs for you, but also recognizing a lot of installs post attribution. So we can get into the details of this, probably do a demo for whoever it's relevant, depending on the scale of your business. Yes, thank you, Gal. As mentioned, like most of our partners prefer working with Appsflyer's P360 tool, fraud tool.
Fantastic. So I think we are remaining with one last question, and I'm sure it's to Kaisar bhai. What all, it's anonymous attendee again. What all platforms Nagad currently using for acquisition and retargeting, being the one of the fastest growing app? So it's upon Kaisar bhai's discretion if he wants to answer or not. So over to you, Kaisar bhai.
So basically, yeah, sure, I would definitely answer that. Basically, currently, in terms of acquisitions, we are not using any sort of platform right now, as this is basically all the acquisitions are organic right now. So whatever communications we are giving it right now, the installs or acquisitions is coming out from there. And in terms of retargeting, we have our own tool regarding the custom audiences. So we are using that, but right now we are planning to use the popular platforms that can works as per our requirements, and we are currently searching for that, and we are talking with several companies right now, so that we can, but there are some issues because we are a digital financial service and there are privacy issues and that kind of thing. So after conducting each and everything, after discussing with the proper channels and protecting the privacy policy, then we will implement the services with our platform.
Thanks for sharing, Kaisar bhai. So I'm just not going to take or drag this session any further. I'm just handing over to our MD, Mr. Kaymun Amin, to finish the session with our official statement.
Oh, I mean, I think we have answered a lot of questions related to app marketing and so forth. But I think it's important to keep in mind that for app install campaigns, I mean, I think I'm going to try and answer one question, because I saw a question people were asking. So, I mean, how does AdPlay fit in with Appsflyer and Appnext and all of that? So, I mean, Appnext does something very special, and Appsflyer also does something very special, which we don't. I mean, we are a programmatic DSP, a demand side source for inventory and programmatic campaigns, and Appnext does something completely different from that. They're focused on that, and like I said, we always look for ways to add value to our clients and partners, and Appnext just does that. Appsflyer is again doing something completely different, which is measurement and attribution. And I think that is something that most of our app publishers or app marketers need at this point, because I think usage of attribution platform is almost zero in our market. So at the end of the day, to have a good campaign, I mean, you need to be using all these different tools and platforms to have, I mean, you basically need to build your own stack, right? I mean, you know, you're working with a DSP, you're working with a ad network like Appnext, you have your attribution platform, you have your CMP, you have your DMP and all that. I know it gets very complicated, but that's how it is. I mean, we try to close the gap and build a bridge by working with the right partners. So I hope we have tried to answer, or at least leave you with the right information of what you need to consider going forward, that it's not just about doing a Facebook and Google campaign. Of course, those are great, but if you want to ultimately scale your campaign and have more data and have more meaningful engagement, then definitely consider Appsflyer, Appnext, and how they can help drive your upcoming campaigns. I mean, feel free to reach out to us. Feel free to reach out to Appsflyer directly, Appnext directly. They're always there. We're always in touch with them as well. And I think, you know, we can further do one-on-one sessions if you have any further questions, help you plan your campaign strategy, your product strategy, and so forth. So I don't have anything further to add, honestly. Wishing everyone a very good afternoon, and thank you again for joining us.
Thank you so much, Kaymun and team, for having us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone, Gal, Kaisar Bhai, Arpita, thanks for joining. And to our audience as well, thanks a lot for joining with us. And we'll be having another webinar sometime soon, and with some other platforms and some other solutions. Cheers. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.